Yeah. Yeah. After Noah and his sons came down upon the eastern range, first descended to the plains and fixed their habitation strange. Others were afraid to leave the highlands of the saving height. Remember well the deluge, and they feared the lower light. Persuaded by the first comers to follow down the slope. Plain as Shinar was the country where they settled with the hope. And the Maker gave commandment that they send the colonies abroad, for the peopling of the earth and for the cultivating of the sod, that they might not raise their seditions one against the other, but cultivate the various lands and feed their every brother. Enjoy the fruits of the earth and plenty of the kind, but they were ill-instructed and did not obey the mind of the Maker. So they fell into the calamities they earned, and the Maker came again with admonition that they learned to send the colonies out forth and spread upon the ground. But they would not obey because the prosperity they found. Nimrod was the man who taught the people how to rebel. Strong man of the plain of Shinar, leading every tower of revenge against the Maker was a They could believe their own power was the cause of all the wealth, not the favor of the Maker that had granted them their health. Crediting themselves was the great error of the day, and they added paranoia to the matter on the way. Suspected that the Maker only sent them out abroad, so that being divided they could easier be flawed by oppression of the tyrant or invasion of the strong. Just the seed of paranoia where the unbelief was long. Now it was Nimrod who excited him to such a front, or the Maker open contempt the priest records the front. Grandson of the Cam, the son of Noah in the line. Bowman great in strength of hand, the body was the sign. Persuaded them to not ascribe their happiness to God, believe instead their own courage had procured the road. This was Nimrod's doctrine, credit self for the success. Father of the strong man creed, the priest records the press. Nimrod was the man who taught the people how to rebel. Strong man of the plain of Shinar, leading every tower of revenge against the Maker was a Gradually he changed the government into a tyranny. Saw no other way to turn the men from fear of deity, but to bring them into dependence on his power alone. For the fear of God was rival to the tyrant on the throne. This the priest records the deepest doctrine of the tyrant's will. Tyranny requires abolition of religion to fulfill. Can I rule the man who fears the Maker more than fears the king? Has to break the holy first before the chain can begin to ring. This the political philosophy the priest unveils. First tyrant Nimrod, founder of the rule that always fails. And he said he would be revenged on God if he should choose to drown the world again. The deluge tower would refuse. He would build a tower high above the water's reach. He would avenge himself on God for what was done to each of his forefathers in the flood. The priest records the threat. Nimrod, open rebel of the Maker, never to forget.
Nimrod in the Hebrew root is Nimrod, let us rebel. Nimrod is a name that means a let us revel spell. Even in the name the doctrine of the man is bound. Founder of the tyranny, the rebel of the ground. Grandson of the Cam, the strong man who would break the line. Father of the rule that always says the king is the divine. Nimrod is the type the priest records of every tyrant come. Self-attributed and rebel even to the kingdom come.
And the people of the plain of Shinar would not be addressed, and the Maker sent the call to send the colonies expressed. And the prosperity convinced them of their own self-blessed, and the paranoia of oppression was the seed confessed. And Nimrod was the grandson of the Cam, the priest professed. And he changed the government to tyranny the priest had stressed. And he threatened he would build a tower God could not have pressed. And I bowed my head and wrote the rebel manifest. It's the first of tyrants, priest will say redress. Rebel. 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 Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Now the multitude were ready to obey what Nimrod said. Ready to esteem it cowardice if any man should dread. Submission to the maker was reversed in every mind. Cowardice, the new word that the rebels had assigned. To the holy fear of God, the priest records the inversion. Virtue was reversed and rebellion was the conversion. Built the tower with the labor with the multitude of hands. Did not spare the pains and never negligent across the land. By the multitude of workers it grew very high, sooner than expected, reaching up into the sky. But the thickness of destruction made the great height seem the less. Optical illusion of the brick that thickness could compress. Burnt brick of the deliverer, the fire hardened block. Cemented all together with the bitumen and rock. Mortar of the waterproof against the future flood. This the tower Nimrod built against the maker stood.
Bavel. City in the plain where languages were broken. Bavel. Hebrew word that means confusion, priests declare the Bavel. Tongues of every nation scattered from the holy. Bavel, 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 Bavel.
When the maker saw the madness of the building of the tower, he did not result to utterly destroy them in an hour, for they had not grown the wiser from the destruction of the past. From the deluge of the sinners, they had not been recast. So much that he caused a tumult by the language and the tongue, producing diverse tongues among them where there once was one. Multitude of languages they could not understand. What another spoke and what was said by every other hand. Bavel was the name the place received for the confusion, where the Hebrew tongue means mingling and dilution. All the tongues that once were one, the speech that all could share, was divided by the maker and the rebels lost the air. Of communication, a conspiracy, a plan could no longer build together what they started man to man. Scattered from the plain into the countries of the earth. Every language carried by a people of new birth.
Bavel. City in the plain where languages were broken. Bavel. Hebrew word that means confusion, priests declare the Bavel. Tongues of every nation scattered from the holy. Bavel, 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 Bavel.
Now the Sibyl makes a mention of this very tower too. Pagan oracle confirming what the Hebrew priest knew. When all men were of one language, she could pen the line. Some of them built the high tower, aspiring to divine. As it did with the thereby, ascend up to heaven from the ground. But the God sent storms of wind and overthrew it with the sound. Gave each one this peculiar language for the very deed. In the city, the tower was called Babylon indeed. Greeks among my readers know the Sibyl wrote the truth.
Hesitaeus
also mentioned plan of Shinar from his youth.
Such of the priests as were saved
Took the holy vessels too.
sacred vessels of
Of Jupiter and Yalius came through. To the Shinar of Babylonia the priests had been preserved.
This the priest record.
Testimony pagans never swerved.
From the structural fact,
The Hebrew priests had also given
tower in the plain, confusion of the tongue beneath the heaven. Bavel. In the Hebrew is the word for the confusion. Bavel. Is the meaning of the place of the dilution of the tongues the maker scattered from the plain of Shinar. Babylon, the city name for what the rebels did go far. Every nation carries half remembrance of this fall. Sibyl, Hesitaeus, and the Hebrews above all. Bavel is the doctrine of the rebel pride suppressed. This the priest records the scattering, the holy was impressed.
and the multitude obeyed the Nimrod doctrine and progressed.
And the tower,
But the burnt brick was the work that they confessed.
and the bitumen,
Prevented in the flood the priest had stressed.
and the maker,
Did not utterly destroy but reassess.
and the language is divided,
Then the speakers were addressed.
and the city was called,
Bavel for confusion manifest.
and the Sibyl and
Hesitaeus had the witness pressed. Then I bowed my head and wrote the scattering expressed.
this the breaking of the tongues.
The priest will say redressed.
Bavel, 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 Bavel.
Now the grandchildren of Noah were the founders of the world. Honor of their names was placed upon the nations as unfurled. Japheth was the son of Noah with the 7 sons of Frame. Settled from the Taurus mountains of Manus by the same. Going through the Asia, through the river Tansis far. Going through the Europe, through the Caddies as their star. Lands that none had occupied before they took for own. Called the nations after them, the priest records the throne of the genealogy that maps the geography of all. Hebrew patriarch beneath the Greek surface of the wall. Every nation Greeks among my readers know by name. As a Hebrew father older than the Grecian fame. This my charge to readers, Greek to listen as I teach. Greeks have nations, Hebrews have the fathers in our reach. Let me run the 7 sons across the breadth of every land. Hear the Dublin's Greek and Hebrew as I show the priestly hand. Every nation
By a son of Japheth has been Hebrew Hebrew under Greek, the priest records that they were genealogy and geography together get
First in Goma founded those the Greeks now call Galatians. Gone writes at first in Gauls the priest unveils the nations. Magog founded those that Greeks now call the Scythian land. From him came the Magogis, the priest records the brand. Madai, third the founder of the people called the Medes. Medians of the Hebrew in the Medi form. Greek concedes Javan founded Ionia and all the Grecian race. Hebrew patriarch beneath the Greek philosopher's face. Tobal of the Ibers, the Hebrews called Tobalites. Greeks have called them by the change of name into the heights. Mosach was the founder of the Masokani line. Cappadocians today is what the Grecian tongue defines. Sign of this remains the city Mazaka even now. Once the whole nation went by, that the priest records the brow. Thyras founded Thracians, the Hebrews called of old. Greeks have changed the name and called Thracians to behold.
Every nation by a son of Japheth has been Hebrew under Greek, the priest records that they were genealogy and geography together get
Three sons came to Goma. First Ashanax the founder. Ashanaxians the Hebrews call the Greeks Esroginians. Rounder if I founded Ripines the Hebrews call by name. Paphlagonians the Greek tongue gives them in the same. Programmer the Programmians the Hebrews call the breed. Phrygians the Greeks resolved the name into the sea. Three sons came to Javan. First Elisa came to fame. To the Elysians Hebrew Aeolians the Grecian frame. Tarsus to the Tarsans for Cilicia of old. Noblest city they possessed Tarsus the priests can hold. For the tar by change was put for theta the priest will say. Tongue shift that the Greeks have made across the centuries way. Septimus possessed the island Cyprus called Septima. Hebrews call all islands by the Septima. The priestly scheme a city is preserves the ancient name unto this day. Many nations carry Japheth 7 names in their array.
Yefet in the Hebrew is the name that means enlargement. Yefet was the prophecy of spreading in the parchment. Noah prayed that God enlarge a fed across the ground. In the lawgiver record the prayer was answered all around. Japheth 7 sons and grandsons spread to every shore. Greeks among my readers know the names but never know the source. This the priest will teach the names you speak are Hebrew under all. Greek the surface, Hebrew under genealogy and core. And the genealogy and geography were named and addressed.
And the 7 sons of Japheth spread from Taurus to the west.
And the Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan,
Tobal were impressed. And the Mosach and the Tiras Greeks have known them and confessed. And the
grandsons of the patriarchs,
the priest had also pressed.
And the Ashanax Reveth,
for grammar Elisa professed.
And the Tharsis and Septimus Hebrew names the priest had stressed.
And I bow my head and wrote the naming manifest. It's the dubbing Greek and Hebrew priest will say redress.
Name. Children of the camp possess the land from Syria and the Manus. Mountains of the Libanus and the sea coast unto us far as the ocean stretch the line of Cam. Across the south, some of the names have vanished, some are changed in every mouth. Few have kept the denomination entire to this day. Different from the Japheth where the name survived away. Just the firstborn left the Ethiopians as his line. Chuzites by themselves and all in Asia called the sign. Misraim was the founder of the Egypt of the Nile. We who inhabit Judea call Egypt Mestra still. Egyptians we call Mestrines, the priest records the name. Hebrew form preserved beneath the Greek upon the same. But the founder Libyans, the Futites of the line. River in the Moses also fought beneath the sign. Canaan forth the founder of the country Judea now. Here called the land Canaan, the priest records the brow. From the Hebrew name that means the bird. Sons that spread the southern lands, the bird. Canaan cursed and bound forever to the bird.
Grandsons of the Josephus the sixth, the priest records the name. Sabbaths founded Sabines, evil as the Getuli claim. Sabbath, these the Sabbathans that Greeks now call a stabber. And Sabactas, the Sabactans, and Ragmas to the lands of the Ragmenes. And his two sons, Judah, Sabas, more Judadians of the western Ethiopia at the shore. Sabas to the Sabines, as we named already known. Nimrod, son of Chus, had stayed at Bavel on the throne. 8 the sons of Misraim, from Gaza unto Egypt's strand. Philistim Greeks of name the Palestine of that land. Ludim and Enem and Labam and Libya and Edom, Phethrosim, Chesloim, Sephthorim the schemer. Most of them are lost because of Ethiopic war that Moses fought when he was general of the Egyptian shore. Sons of Canaan also catalog, the priest records the line. Sidonius built Sidon, the city named the same divine. Come the Hebrew name that means the sons that spread the southern lands, the Canaan cursed and bound forever to the Amathus inhabited Amphira, named as Epiphania by the Macedonians from one of his posterity in this area. Arudius possessed the island of Radus of old. Arucus possessed the Archi of the Libanus untold. 7 others, Chedius, Jebusius, Amorius, Gergesus, and Eudius, Aeneas, Amarius. Nothing in the sacred books but only names recorded, for the Hebrews overthrew their cities and rewarded. Now the second matter, Noach after the deluge passed, said about cultivation of the earth on which to last. Planted vines and gathered grapes when they were ripe and ready. Made the wine and feasted, offering sacrifice was steady. Drunk, he fell asleep and lay uncovered in the tent. Come his youngest son came laughing, showed the brothers what was meant. But the brothers covered up the father's nakedness and care. Noah woke and prayed for his sons, the priest records the prayer.
Ham in the Hebrew is a name that means the burnt, the hot. Ham was named for southern lands where his line would have a lot of the sun upon the desert and the coast along the sea. Canaan in the Hebrew means a man brought down the knee, subdued and lowered by the curse the maker had supplied. Noah did not curse the Cam, himself the priest had specified. Cursed his prosperity, not the man, the kin was still in blood. And the maker took the curse to Canaan's children in the flood.
And the line of Cam possessed the southern lands and was addressed. And the just of Misraim, the Phud and Canaan were impressed. And the grandsons of the line, the priest records them all confessed. And the Sabaeans, the Stabarans, Egyptians had progressed. And the Philistim, what the Greeks called Palestine, was stressed. And the Camel mocked his father at the wine had been expressed. And the curse fell not on Cam himself but Canaan manifest. And I bowed my head and wrote the curse upon the test. This the lineage of Cam, the priest will say redress. Shem, the third son of Noach, had 5 sons of the line. From the Euphrates to the Indian Ocean was the sign. Eastern lands, the line of Shem, possessed beneath the sun. Different from the Japhet northern and the Chama southern run. Elam left behind him the Elamites, the ancient name. Ancestors of the Persians who would carry forth the same. Ashur lived at city Nineveh where his subjects took their stand. Fortunate above all nations was the people of his hand. Arphaxad had named the Arphaxidites, the priest records. Oh, now they are the Chaldeans known among the eastern lords. Aram had the Aramites that Greeks now call by Syrian name. Lord, the Laudites are the Lydians who carry on the same of the 4 sons of Aram. First the Uz had founded Trachonitis in Damascus where the eastern road was rounded. U founded Armenia and gathered Bactria's expanse. Mace of the Messenians, now Charax, Pacini, the chance.
Hebrew gave the name, the priest records the Hebrew. Father of the people called originally the Hebrew. This the doctrine that the priest had taught the Hebrew.
Salah was the son of Arphaxad, the priest records the line. Salah's son was Heber, from whom originally the sign of the Hebrews came. The name the priest had specified, not from Abram's crossing river as the Greeks have testified, but from Heber's name, the eponymous ancestor of all. Heber to the Hebrews, father of the calling and the call. Heber had 2 sons, Joktan and Phaleg of the line. Phaleg named for what occurred, the priest records the sign. Born at the dispersion of the nations to the lands.
Phaleg in the Hebrew tongue
Means division of the bands. Eponymous again, the man whose name is what occurred at the moment of his birth. The priest records the word. Joktan had 13 sons who spread the eastern shores. Elmodad, Aleph, Azamoth, and Jerah at the doors. Adora, Mazo, Dekla, Abel, Abimael of the seed. Sabbath, Ophir, Ulat, Jobab, the Kophins, Indian feed.
Heber gave the name, the priest records the Hebrew. Father of the people called originally the Hebrew. This the doctrine that the priest had taught the Hebrew.
Now the line of Heber, Phaleg, Rago, Serug downward came. Nahor, Terah, Abram 10th. From Noah held the flame, born 292 years after the deluge ceased. Terah father Abram at the 70 years east. Nahor sired Haran at 120 held. Nahor born to Serug at his 132nd of the field. Ragal had Serug at the 130 year. Phaleg had Ragal at the 130 clear. Heber, Phaleg at 134 bestowed.
Salah had Heber
At 130 in the road.
Arphaxad had Salah
At 135 then.
Arphaxad was Shem's son
12 years after deluge, and now Abram had two brothers, Nahor and Haran the third. Haran left a son named Lot and daughter Sarai, and Milch the word. Died among the Chaldeans in the city, or the priest's monument is shown.
They're even still across the east. Ever in the Hebrew is the name a Hebrew priest unfolds, from whose name the Hebrews God are calling that he holds. Not from Abram crossing river as the Greeks have rendered down, but from Heber, the eponymous ancestor of renown. Peleg in the Hebrew is a word that means division. Phaleg named it scattering of nations from the vision. Two etymologies that mark the spine of all the line. Hebrew comes from Heber, Peleg names the time.
And the 5 sons of Shem possessed the eastern were addressed.
And the Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, and Aram were expressed.
And the Lord and grandsons of Aram 4 were thus impressed.
And the Heber gave the Hebrews name the priest had then confessed.
And the Phaleg name for division at the time professed.
And the 13 sons of Joktan spread to Indian rivers pressed.
And the line that Abram 10th from Noah held the test.
And I bowed my head and wrote the lineage manifest.
It's the path to Abram priest will say redressed.
Hebrew